Thanks, Harriet. Well, it's all calm out there at the moment. Some mist and fog first thing this morning, but things are changing. We're going to have some spells of quite wet and windy weather over the next few days and into the weekend. So for now, we've got a ridge of high pressure. This weather system is approaching from the west. For us here in the east, we are likely to stay dry for the bulk of the day. Could be just the odd spot of drizzle. Still quite chilly out there, 7 or 8 degrees, and it's into the afternoon. We'll see cloud continuing to build, and eventually we'll see some outbreaks of rain accompanied by a gusty wind. So the wind's really picking up. And for many of us, by tomorrow morning, we could be recording wind gusts in the mid-40s. And you can see the second spell of rain could be quite intense. First thing tomorrow morning, eastern counties seeing that wet weather to wake up to. So temperature-wise, 6 or 7 degrees overnight. So it's much milder than it has been recently without the risk of a frost. So Thursday, that system clears out of the way. We've got another one on the way. And for Thursday, we'll see some wet weather at first. Perhaps some brighter skies, could be a fair bit of cloud left behind, and then the next weather system will come through later in the day. And this is when the weather warnings kick in from 3 o'clock tomorrow. Much milder conditions, the wind's really picking up, and we'll start to feel the effects of that wind and rain. Yellow weather warnings for wind and rain from 3 o'clock tomorrow for many parts of the region. More details on that later at 6:30. But the next area quite interesting is this area of low pressure. Some uncertainty on the track and how deep this low will be, but that could really bring some fairly stormy conditions into the weekend. And at this stage, you can see from the wind gusts just how likely it's predicted to be, how windy it's predicted to be, particularly Friday night and into Saturday. And with a northerly direction to the wind, it's going to turn colder, but certainly we could be recording wind gusts in the mid-50s by Friday night and into Saturday. Harriet.
Thanks, Alex. Lots of weather to tell us about.
Yeah, well, it's been very calm, hasn't it? Been chilly today. We've had some sunshine, also some mist and fog, but what it has been is fairly calm. That is all set to change. We're going to see some spells of rain over the next couple of days and some gusty winds. And it's a series of low pressure weather systems. This one will be arriving later tonight. This is tomorrow, and then further away into Friday, a deepening area of low pressure. So already yellow weather warnings have been issued for wind and rain. They start from 3 o'clock tomorrow across the region, and we could see some fairly strong wind gusts, 40 to 50 miles an hour. Locally, they could be higher than that. At the moment, the winds are starting to pick up, and eventually we'll see this area of rain with the first low pressure weather system. Initially light and patchy, but it will turn heavier and more persistent. So those eastern counties perhaps seeing some heavy rain with some gusty winds first thing tomorrow morning. Milder than recent nights with lows of around 7 or 8 degrees. So that system is out of the way tomorrow morning. We get a drier slot of weather before this system moves in. So what we're likely to see is perhaps across the east some heavy rain at first, then drier, brighter conditions with some sunshine, still quite breezy. The winds will pick up once more into the evening and overnight, and that is when that first weather warning of wind and rain is in force from 3 o'clock. So you can see the gusty winds bring in some very mild air, 12 or 13 degrees, some heavy rain to come for Thursday night into Friday. And then there's a level of uncertainty in the forecast, this deepening area of low pressure. It may end up being a named storm. At this stage, we're not entirely sure of the track of this area of low pressure, but could bring us some very strong winds and some heavy rain for Friday night into Saturday. So stay tuned for the forecast. The gusts on that chart show you just how windy it's likely to be. And also a northerly wind could bring us some much colder conditions from Saturday, and even the possibility of some wintry showers. Amelia.
Alex, thank you very much indeed. That's all.
Hello, wet and very windy conditions over the next few days and into the weekend. The first area of low pressure is going to bring us some patchy rain overnight, also some strengthening southerly winds, and this rain could turn quite persistent and heavy into the early hours of tomorrow morning, lingering across eastern counties first thing. It will be milder than recent nights, and the rain might be a little bit slow to clear. We'll have a dry slot of weather before this next area of low pressure moves in from the west. So expect a fairly breezy start to the day, some outbreaks of rain, then perhaps a dry slot of weather with some sunshine before cloud builds and the next spell of rain moves through, accompanied by some gusty winds. There are yellow weather warnings in force for both wind and rain from tomorrow. It is going to be milder, but certainly that unsettled weather continuing for Friday night particularly and into Saturday.